Maybe I'll just flip my whole collection on its head and just start getting Sauconys and New Balance. Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. Now on today's episode we will not be talking about the Lost and Founds. I can assure you I am as sick of that release as you are. The only time we may bring them up is at the end of the year when we're discussing the year that was. But today, man, look, after having so many pairs recently from Nike and Jordan being like such terrible quality, it's just an absolute privilege to have these pair right here that we're about to unbox, because the quality is insane, the shoe is insane, and I'm pretty sure you can get them right now. Let's go do that. Not quite an unboxing, an unbagging. This was very confusing because said it was here yesterday and I saw it today. So I can already feel the box has been damaged a fair bit. I've never bought a pair from this brand ever. They've been growing on me for years. It just needed to be the right colorway, and this was it. This is a collab between them and a jiu-jitsu company. So used to train in jiu-jitsu once upon a time myself. So I don't want to mess this up. It should be on here. So it's the Albino and Preto, or Preto, Albino and Preto collab. Saucony Shadow 5000. The box, I would assume, is a special box with all the print and everything, because they've got that exact same print on the shoes. Now, like I said, it's been messed up a little bit, squashed in because it's in a bag. Put it in a box. Easy fix. But I would much rather have a beat up box than some beat up shoes. So I've been hearing a lot of good things about Saucony quality. And these are not disappointing. The materials on this are incredible. I can't see any sort of flaws on them. I will say, in images that I did see, this grey here kind of looked a little bit lighter. They're just a good looking pair. Let's have a look at the other one, just make sure. Now, shout outs to the boys from Soul Kitchen. They've been talking about Saucony for a minute. I've been saying that there's been certain ones that I always catch, like when I go to Birkenhead Point, they got the Hype outlet there. There's always Sauconys there for relatively cheap. I've come close multiple times, never pulled the trigger. I feel like my days of just buying something because it's cheap have gone. It's more about quality over quantity, right? So for me, it had to be the right colorway, the right materials, the right everything. And in terms of this, the right collab, them collaborating with someone in the jiu-jitsu world, even in the martial arts world. I trained in jiu-jitsu for a number of years, won trophies and medals. Yeah, it just, even without that, it's just a good looking shoe. Crazy materials. Like, I don't even know what this is on the top here. Honestly don't. You got suede, nubuck. What's it saying on here? Leather, textile, rubber. There's just like 10 different materials on here. Every single one of them is a lot better quality than any pair of Nikes I've had in a long time. Extra laces too. The grey could go right. I kind of like the contrast between the black. The sole. Yeah, there's not a thing wrong with these. Incredible materials, perfect quality control, and you get what you pay for. Something that Nike hasn't been able to deliver for a long time. It's not hard. Saucony doing it. New Balance is doing it. From what I hear, Asics is doing it. Now the thing with this is, I've never even put a pair of Sauconys on my feet. Outside of maybe some like running shoes, I want to say when I was in retail, Saucony tried to come back in around about 2015 maybe, and they priced themselves very well into the market. Very comfortable shoes. I just never pulled the trigger at the time. All my running shoes were essentially Asics back then. So Gel Nimbus, that sort of thing, which is crazy because I've been wearing the Gel Nimbus for so long that they've now brought out a retro. I kind of feel like how guys growing up in the 80s would have felt with Nikes and Jordans, yeah? This, man, like, I really like these. I'm going to have to put them straight to feet because I have no idea about sizing. I couldn't even tell you if these fit true to size, if they don't. Shout outs again to the boys from Soul Kitchen. They'll give me a lot of help with this. Yeah, I don't even know what that material is. That's... When you put your hand on it, it kind of sticks straight away. Like, it's got crazy grip. I am a Saucony fan, I guess. These are incredible. Even like the paint splatter, right? Paint splatter, Nike has been doing that for a minute. I feel like Adidas did it with their clothing. But every time they do it, it's the one way. This almost looks like you're an apprentice painter and you just got bits and pieces on the bottom. I don't know how you protect the uppers from that, but still manage to get it on the midsole. I don't know, but I like the aesthetic. It works. Without knowing what materials are what, I'm going to count the different materials on this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got the midsole, outer sole, and cushioning. Even some plastic on the back. There's, for every color represented on here, is another material. It's insane. And I want to say these weren't cheap either. It's getting pretty bad when I don't even look at the price and I just kind of grab them. No price on the invoice. Nothing on there. And the box is interesting. It's got that similar paint speckle on there. You got on the front of it Albino and Preto, which is Preto. I want to say they were like $270, maybe $240, somewhere around that. But see, the difference is when I got those Jordan 2 lows, right? Super stoked for the idea, love the idea of the collab, just like this. But when I got these in hand, I'm blown away by the materials and the quality. Not ready to throw them at people. Maybe I'll just flip my whole collection on its head and just start getting Sauconys and New Balance. That's never going to happen, but we're here now. Let's get some B-roll and wrap it up. Look, the amount of anger I've had towards Nike quality control in the past, say, 2 years, though warranted, I'm just sick of talking about it. So when we go to the complete opposite spectrum here with Saucony, it's just incredible. I mean, these here I wore for like 3 days in a row, and then I've probably worn them a bunch of times after that, right? Super comfortable. They don't even look like they've been worn. You could wear a pair of like Jordans spending the exact same amount of money for 1 day and it creased the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So look, this won't be everyone's cup of tea, right? But for me, it's more about showing you guys that there is other brands. Now, I know I'm surrounded by Nike and Jordan, but I've always had like New Balance, N1, Peak. Most of my training gear back in the day was Asics. So I've got shell toes, I've got forums. So I've always had that bit of variety, and I'm just getting... I mean, Saucony's been growing on me for a minute. I've seen a bunch of different pairs, and they always go on sale too. That's why I was kind of hesitant to get these straight away, but they were such a good looking pair. The collab spoke to me, and I just pulled the trigger. Chances are, these will drop down to like 150 bucks or 100 bucks or whatever. It's insane. Hype, Subtype, all these places, they end up dropping them down eventually, right? But I was so impressed with these, even if some of the images, it did look lighter. It did look like, say, the light grey was more like a white, or it wasn't as dark or whatever, but that's nothing new. Nike do the exact same thing. For me, super comfortable, super clean colorway. The materials are insane. I mean, I still don't know what this is on the top. It's like some sort of ripstop or like extreme ripstop, because it's actually got a grip built into it. But the Albino and Preto, or Preto, whatever it is, like, go get yourself a pair, man. If you can get yourself a pair, do it. I said probably around this time last year, right? I said New Balance is having a moment, because they were doing so much cool stuff, and you know, they're easy to obtain. I feel like Saucony and Asics are doing the same thing, right? People are disappointed with the quality of Nike. People are disappointed on missing out because of resellers or whatever. Much better quality in terms of the shoe and how it's crafted, and you can get them right now. There's no issues. Like, they drop, you get them. That's it. I bought these direct from Saucony. You can get them from Concrete Jungle in Melbourne. You can get them... I want to say there was about 5 or 6 stores that dropped on the exact same night, and I ain't checked in a minute, but Sauconys aren't hard to obtain. There's plenty of different colorways. This is the Shadow 5000. There's plenty of different colorways in them. They've been doing all these, you know, almost like in-house collabs with the food, like, stories that they're telling. But the quality of material is insane. Shout out to the Soul Kitchen boys. They've been telling me to get on these for a minute. They've probably been telling everyone to get on these for a minute. But for me, it just came down to finding a colorway that I liked on a silhouette that I was getting fond of, right? And it was these. Like I said, I've worn these a bunch of times, and you can't even tell. You honestly can't even tell. They look brand new. If I did the B-roll right now, it would look exactly the same. But I said last year, New Balance is having a moment. They started doing all these collabs, Bodega, everything like that. Now they're doing the Teddy Santis collection. They did stuff with Will Smith's son, Salehi Bembury. You know, for me, a lot of the time those things I'm not really into, but I see the momentum with the brand. Saucony's that next sort of thing. Over in Europe, it's already there. Asics, Theodora, Saucony, New Balance, that's already been a thing. Starting to come over here, starting to, you know, do with its thing over in America, even though it is an American brand. But I think for me, it's just more about variety, right? A monopoly in any sense of the word, any sense of industry, is not the best way to do things. You give someone too much power, they abuse it, so on and so forth. I'm just talking about shoes here. We're getting a little bit too political, but you understand what I'm saying. Go out and try a pair of New Balance. Go out and try a pair of Asics, Saucony, Diadora, even the Kangaroos that are coming out that most people thought was an Australian brand, but it's not, but it's making its way over here soon. Crazy quality, and you know, maybe if people go towards these brands a little bit, take a little bit of the market share away from Nike and Jordan, they might listen and say, hey, maybe we don't need to pump out a million colorways of Jordan 1 lows, Dunk lows, and Jordan 1 mids, and maybe we just focus on one style, little bit, few more pairs, better quality, that sort of thing, right? We can all hope. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you messing with Saucony? Are you messing with Diadora, one of these other brands that people just don't give the light that it should? For me, I feel like Saucony's having a moment right now. And look, I joked about trading all my stuff for Saucony. It'll never happen. Never. Aesthetically, to me, looking down on your feet, pair of Jordan 1 highs, pair of Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, they just look incredible. Air Max, everything like that. But these are starting to make their way into the rotation. So let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back twice a week. Peace. Sorry, I'm over there for a minute.